How's it going, everyone? I can't believe it's almost the end of the year and we're back in the studio with another episode after a long break. We've been very busy with overseas travels, with business, which has been picked up, which is great, by the way. I hope you're experiencing the same thing out there in the field. Plus some personal matters that didn't really allow me to work as much as I really want to on this podcast. But hey, I'm glad to be back. We're recording and I love talking about this stuff, right? I love talking about this field, as you very well know, and I love what I'm doing. And I definitely love the feedback from you guys. So please continue to leave us a thumbs up and some nice words there or suggestion. It really means the world to me, right? So today, I'll be covering one of the biggest moves in the IMT's recent history, and that is something that we've been working on for a long time in the background. It's a genuine game changer, guys, for contractors across the world, and of course for us here in Australia as well. And this is about a partnership, a reintroduction. It's about combining the legendary, globally trusted power with specialized Italian engineering precision. I'm talking, of course, about the official reintroduction of Caterpillar-based IMT piling rigs. This is not just a new engine option. It's a fundamental shift in support, reliability, and performance. And today, I'm going to tell you the story behind it. I'm going to introduce the incredible new rig that's leading the charge and explain exactly what this means for your business, your operators, and of course, your bottom line. Right? Because in the end, let's face it, it's all about the bottom line, isn't it? And of course, about what we love to do. So to understand why this is such a big deal, we need to rewind back the clock to 1993. You see, back then, specialized piling rigs and our industry in general was very, very different because most manufacturers were building their rigs on whatever base they could get on their own proprietary basis. And the support network was fragmented, let's say, to say the least. But IMT, true to their innovative spirit, did something revolutionary. They became the very first piling rig manufacturer in the world to forge a formal cooperation with Caterpillar. They saw the future. They understood that a specialized piling rig was only as good as the carrier that it sat on. They knew that a contractor in a remote part of the world, like we have so many remote parts here in Australia, needed to be able to get parts and services for their base just as easily as they could get for their drill, or even better. This partnership was a massive success. For decades, the most reliable and sought-after rigs in the piling world were IMT rigs built on solid foundation of yellow cat steel. It was a legendary combination. And just to give you a quick example of how successful this partnership was, I will tell you that in the United States, IMT was the number one piling rig sold to get by their dealer, which is Kelly Tractor, which is also the CAT dealer. And in terms of number, they sold more than 1,200 machines. And just to put it in perspective what that number means, let's do the comparison with Australia. In Australia, we currently have just reached about 1,200 piling rigs. I'm not talking, of course, about soil investigation rigs, mineral exploration, or cut soil mixers, or diaphragm walls, or anything like that. Just purely traditional piling rigs, Kelly bar, CFA, low headroom. Not talking, of course, about the impact hammer either. Just piling rigs alone, 1,200 piling rigs. All the brands put together, that is. That's how much IMT has sold in the United States alone from, let's say, 1990s up until today. So that's very impressive. That collaboration lasted until about 2016-17, and for various reasons, which I'm not going to get into details right now, why it stopped and how it stopped. But that collaboration stopped between IMT and Caterpillar, like Caterpillar stopped the collaboration with a lot of other piling rig manufacturers around the world. But of course, IMT, what they did, they continued to build machines with their own bases, some with CAT engines, some with Cummins. But the demand from the market, from you, from the customers, never went away. You always ask, when can we get a new IMT on a CAT base? You knew the value and the unmatched support, the comfort, the precision, the efficiency of CAT. And of course, our partners IMT, they listen and they've been working tirelessly behind the scenes. And I'm incredibly proud to announce that now in 2025, that legendary partnership is officially reborn. Do you know, I had so many people throughout the years asking me about a very popular rig in Australia, the SR40 or the SR60s, which were CAT-based machines. And they would ask me, if you know someone that's selling a second-hand SR40 or SR60, please let me know. So their value was through the roof. But we'll talk about that in a second. So let's see now what this partnership means with CAT at the moment. It looks like a brand new machine, and that machine is the IMT AF135, as well as two other new models. That's the 60 and 80 tons, which are currently under development, and they're soon to be released, probably end of this year or most likely early next year. Now, let's talk about that data. So the IMT AF135 in its name stands for the nominal torque, which is 135 kilonewton meters. And this puts it in a very good spot in its class, giving you that power to handle tougher ground conditions, as well as sitting on that operating weight of about 35 to 38 tons. So it's powerful enough to tackle some serious rocks or serious ground conditions, but it's nimble enough to get access on tighter spots, which we have a lot in Australia. You see, the thing with IMT is, especially the mid-size models, they are very compact. In general, the distance between the center of the gravity of the machine and the drilling axis is shorter than, let's say, some of the competitors in its class, while still being a very well-balanced machine and a very stable machine, of course. That also allows us to sit with a lot of weight on the drilling tool, as well as not have the tail swinging meters and meters behind the tracks. So very, very compact, very good footprint for its size. And that translates into the new IMT F135 as well. Now, what's happening under the hood? Well, it's powered by a new generation emission-compliant Caterpillar C-Series engine, like the C4.4. However, we do have this machine available with a 7.1-liter engine, which has the same horsepower, but obviously a bigger displacement. But this is not just about the engine, right? It's a complete Caterpillar power pack, fully integrated with IMT advanced hydraulic system. And many of you listeners will know and probably love one of the most popular and trusted rigs, as I said, in Australia was the CAT Base SR40. And in America was the equivalent IMT AF135, which in weight was a little bit lower, but still was able to tackle some really crazy jobs, very, very difficult jobs. And IMT has sold, this is probably one of the most sold IMT models ever built, the IMT AF125, on a CAT 323 base. These rigs were absolute workhorses, right? Operators loved them. They were simple, strong, and reliable. Everybody knows them. So, of course, the biggest mistake for us would have been to just throw all that away. So, the genius of the IMT AF135 is this. It combines the new CAT base and a more powerful 135 kilonewton meter rotary with the same proven reliable control system from IMT and operator comfort, of course, from CAT. One of the things that was missing with the CAT-based machines in general was the versatility. Because the versatility, in what sense? In the sense of converting from different technologies. So being able to drill Kelly bar, CFA, impact hammer, or soil mixing, I don't know, just in general. Because you see, when you have a cylinder crawled version machine, like most CAT bases were, if not all of them, the versatility aspect becomes a little bit harder to achieve. If, however, you have a machine in an advanced witchcraft system where the rotary can travel all the way up and down the mast, then the conversion times decrease significantly. So this is another improvement that we're bringing, and I want it in this new IMT AF135. I told IMT, if you want to bring a machine that's advanced, that's relevant, that's loved, you also have to make it, besides just CAT base, you have to make it witchcraft system. So multi-purpose, a true multi-purpose in the sense, because of course you can convert pretty much any rig out there in Kelly or CFA, but how much work do you need to do, right? So the IMT F135, we wanted the advanced witchcraft system, which will allow us to do a conversion on a 40-ton machine from Kelly to CFA in literally 5 hours. That was the goal, and I think that's absolutely important and crucial nowadays, because you don't want just a machine for Kelly bar. I mean, it's great to have a machine that drills hard rock, that's purely dedicated Kelly, if you have those kind of projects. But a lot of the times, and especially in Australia, people want multi-purpose. They want to be able to tackle different projects. So it is quite simple, the best of both worlds, right? And I'm happy to share that a lot of our customers share this philosophy, because the amount of inquiries we had about this, not only inquiries, but also the customers that have joined us in Italy for the open house back in September, where IMT has officially launched this machine, and they put it out for demo. And operators from all corners of the world, they were there. We participated at this event. We had Aussies there. We had about 14 Aussies. And they were able to jump on the machine and drill through freshly poured concrete. When I say freshly, I mean like a few days, not a few hours. And not that concrete is extremely difficult. We have grounds in Australia that are way more difficult than just concrete, which is about 40, 50 MPa. But nevertheless, the operators were able to drill, to put the machine through different operations like tracking, the balance test, drilling grade piles, and as well as normal piles. But anyway, I'm not going to cover too much of that event that we had there in Italy here, as there's a video where we're summarizing that visit at the factory in Italy with interviews and everything. You can go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel. What I want to focus on is the operator comfort. Our operators will be able to get into this brand new 2025 machine and feel like home. The joysticks, the PLC, the response, it's all pure CAT with the simplicity of IMT. There's no steep learning curve, and it's the familiarity and the simplicity of the IMT A140 that's just upgraded to a state-of-the-art CAT base, a new generation quiet cab, which was a problem that we had on the A140, was a bit noisier, and a massive boost in efficiency. Because let's be honest, the efficiency that someone like CAT can get out of a system is literally unmatched. The amount of research that they can afford to throw at a machine allows them, of course, to maximize that efficiency. And our piling rigs can definitely benefit from that as well, right? So what are the benefits of working with CAT? Most importantly, the unmatched parts and service support. Your piling rig is basically two machines in one. You've got the drilling equipment, the drilling attachment, as they call it, and then it's the base carrier. For the IMT part, you've always had us, TerraQuip. We're the specialists. We have rig-specific parts. We have trained technicians. And for those of you that worked with us, you know that we go above and beyond for our clients to help them. You know, whether that is working weekends or adapting and working around you, whether on the job site or at your yard or at our yard, whatever that helps. But for those of you that haven't worked with us yet on the servicing side, I wanted to let you know about our team. Because a lot of people, they ask me, like, who are your technicians? So we've got John, who was very smart engineer, very hands-on. He started with me. We pretty much founded a company together back in 2018. He's also my dad. Hi, Dad. And then we've got Michele. He's our senior technician as well. He has a huge amount of experience in piling and drilling rigs and joined us about 3 years ago. Then we have Ray da Silva, a young technician trained by our suppliers both in Italy and in Germany, as well as here in Australia. Then we've got Michael. He's coming from a welding background, an engineering background, but he has also proven to be a very fast learner. And since about 2.5 years ago when he joined us, he has picked up so much. We're very proud of him. We're actually sponsoring him now as well. And then last but not least, we have our young lady, Daini. She joined us as a yards person about a year, 18 months ago. Yeah. And immediately after, she said, I really love this. I really want to learn about piling rigs. Can I please become a technician? What are the steps that I need to take? So for the last 12 months, our guys are actually training her as well. And she's doing really well. Of course, you need a lot of years in this field to become a good technician. But you know what? We've got the time. We want to invest in people. And we do believe that after-sales support is by far the most important aspect of what we do. Now you have with this AF135, you literally have the single largest, best in its class dealer network on the planet. In Australia, of course, that means you're backed up by Westrack or Hastings Deering or in New Zealand, TerraCat. And I'm not just playing with words there. They're literally called TerraCat. And depending on where we are in Australia, there's so many dealers and sub-dealers and contractors that work with CAT or exclusively or non-exclusively. So we did say about the support. We did say about the comfort. Now, while you have CAT support for the base machine, you also have TerraQuip for the drilling attachment. So it's like we call it a two-layer support system. And then you have, of course, the issue of operator comfort, as I said, because let's be honest, finding and keeping good operators, especially in Australia, is one of the biggest challenges in our industries. The amount of time I've had clients asking me, do you know a good operator? Do you know anyone looking for work that's a good operator, that's reliable? And of course, we I mean, we do know a lot of operators, but we don't really get involved with that side of the things. We stay completely out of it, and we try not to, because you get to upset people. If you recommend someone and then they leave a company, they go to another company, it's not looking good, and it's something we don't want to get involved with. Now, the new cab on the F135 is quiet, as I said. It's spacious and has brilliant visibility, guys. The test that one of the Australian customers that came and tested the machine in Italy said the visibility in this machine is almost 360 degrees. It's unbelievable. So the controls are ergonomic. The seat is all day comfortable, and it's not just a nice to have, right? Because a comfortable, happy operator is a safer, more productive operator. Reduced fatigue means better focus, fewer mistakes, and more piles drilled at the end of the day. And that flows directly into efficiency. You see, Caterpillar has spent billions of dollars perfecting the art of getting the most out of every drop of fuel. Their engines, like the one in the IMT F135, are integrated with features like auto idle, advanced hydraulic load sensing, which means basically the machine knows when to deliver full power and when to conserve fuel. And whilst these systems are not necessarily new, right? You can find them on so many rigs out there. That's not something new. But the efficiency that CAT can get out of them, out of the systems, is what's truly important here, and what I want to emphasize, basically. And of course, with fuel prices that keep increasing, this efficiency goes, of course, to your bottom line every single hour of usage. And last, let's look at the total cost of ownership and resale value. This is the big picture benefit. A Caterpillar machine is built to last. It's built to be rebuilt, basically. The durability is legendary, we know. This means your capital investment is protected. But the real kicker here is the resale value. When the time comes to upgrade your fleet in 5, 10 years, or even 15 years, a machine with a CAT base is without a question the most sought after, desirable, and valuable machine from the used market. You get a better return on your investment. And this AF135 isn't just a great machine to run. It's a smarter machine to own. It will hold its value better than any other rig in its class, period. Just to give you an example, we did a full episode with the how to value the price of a used rig. So normally you lose about 30% of its value the first year, and then each consecutive year you lose 10% of its value, right? However, when it comes to CAT-based machines, from what I've seen some incredible numbers that people with used machines sold them at because of being with CAT. They were just absolutely loved, right? The SR40s, especially the SR60s as well. So, in conclusion, to bring it all together, this legendary partnership is back. IMT, the first piling manufacturer to ever partner with CAT in 1993, has done it again. The first new machine, the AF135 40-ton class, is the perfect evolution in this game. And I'm happy to say that in Australia, we already have an order for 2. They're not going to be delivered, unfortunately, until next year in March or April. But this machine has more power with torque, very good pullback capabilities as well, but while still keeping the same simple, reliable IMT controls. And of course, J-lock style Kelly bars that our operators in Australia know and trust. And last but not least, I left this to the end. We will bring these machines with different button configurations on the joystick. Some of them to emulate perfectly the IMT A140, so the perfect evolution. So people that have the A140s will be able to go directly onto this machine. And then also the people that had the SR40s and are used to the SR40s, we're trying to do the buttons in such a way that the operators that use the SR40, they'll jump straight in. The buttons are exactly the same. They're in exactly the same spot. The free fall, everything, the main winch, the rotary, the gear change, everything will be in the same spot. Either as I said, for the A140, either same as the SR40. So we're really excited about this CAT-based line of machines. Although the price is a bit higher than the normal IMT-based machine, and we're still continue to, of course, fully sell the IMT A line. That's the A90, of course, A45, A140, A215, A290. They're incredible machines, super productive, very reliable, very good quality, very strong. However, for the people that want a more premium product on a CAT-based machine, we will offer the IMT F135, as I said, which is a 40-ton class. We will offer the IMT AF218, which is going to be a 218 kilonewton meter torque for the 60-ton class. And we'll also offer next year the IMT AF290, which is going to be pretty much an 80-ton class machine. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching us, and we can't wait to invite you to our yard to see the first IMT F135 in action. But until then, be safe and remember, if it's not turning, you're not earning.